Well, hey there, everybody. It's the 24th day of May 2026, uh, right in the middle of Memorial Day weekend. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. Well, I hope you're having a good weekend, a good holiday if you celebrate. I discovered aphids on one of my columbine plants that I grew from seed. Now they're on both, and so we're treating, and then I'm going to cut all the flowers off and stick them in a bag. That was disturbing. I generally don't have problems like that, but there it was. I freaked out. Oh my God. Anyway, let's get my keyboard out of the way here. Let's go ahead and take the rune for the reading from the Elder Futhark. Waiting for one to fall in my hand. There it goes. We have Yura. Yura is the 12th rune of the Elder Futhark. It's an earth element rune. It means transformation. It's Kenaz, forward and reversed. And so Kenaz is the light of spirit. It's intuition, it's the torch, it's transformation, but it's drawing in higher awareness and then expressing that outward into your physical reality. And there's so many of the runes that actually have this same type, like Birkenau does, for example, Sewillow does, where that exchange happens, drawing in higher awareness and then expressing it out into your life. So, but Yira is an interesting one because, so it's transformation, it's balance, it's give and take, cycles. It can be used, I use it in a bind rune for gardening. So it's about herbalism and gardening, unfolding awareness, energetic alignment. Similar again to Sewillow in that regard, although Sewillow is the rune of the will, and higher consciousness and all of that. This just employs all of it, draws it in and expresses it out. Let's see what we have here for the Geomancy rune. There's air, there's water. What are you? You're earth, and that means you're fire. Okay, so we're looking at Fortuna Minor. On the continuum there, you've got Fortuna Major and Fortuna Minor. Minor is about progressive success, sort of like baby steps, or say you're doing a job, you're a contractor and you're doing progress billings. That would be a fundamental example of that, whereas Fortuna Major is greater fortune, minor is lesser fortune. So, Fortuna Major might be the windfall at the end, for example. And it also has to do with the type of leader you are. Let's see, there's Major. I'll show you Major. And then here's Minor. It's just reversed there. And so whereas with minor, you might be willing to ask for assistance, for example. But with major, you're going to draw that from within yourself. And that's either going to work out in a positive way or it could be arrogance, so and micromanaging and things like that. But right now with the give and take associated with Yira, I would say that you're probably looking at some kind of collaborative experience you're going to have in some way, whether it's at work or home or in the family, or neighborhood or what have you. Some kind of collaborative experience is going to maybe be in play this week. But let's take a look at the cards and see if we have to make any adjustments with the runes and the interpretation there. And then, but before we start interpreting, I'll go ahead and I'll do the numerology here as soon as I get the cards out. So I'm going to cut the deck, take the lower half, and draw 3 cards. Well, we have predominance of wands here. We have a 7 and the ace. And then we have the Hierophant from the Major Arcana. So I said that Yira, where is my, there it is. Well, ooh, way down there. Okay. So let me clear this out. So let's see. So Yira was 12. Plus the Hierophant is going to be 5. And then I said we had the 7 of Wands. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which would be a 1. So that comes to 25, reduces to 7. Let's do it one more time. 12 plus 5 plus 7 plus 1. 25. So yeah, so we've got 7 for the overall numerology. 7 is about balance. It's about observation. It's letting things settle out. If you imagine the scales, a set of scales that represents 7, you've got 3 and 3 and then 1, that adds up to 7. And so you're going to let things settle out and see where they go here, and observe, rather than trying to take control of the situation, necessarily, like you might if we had Fortuna Major instead of Fortuna Minor. You're going to collaborate. You're going to draw in higher awareness and express that out to the group, so that you understand the harmony that's necessary and the clarity that's necessary. But that doesn't come necessarily from an individual, although it can. But everybody's got to be on the page that that's okay. So there's not a lot of competition or any. It's just a matter of here's the task, here's the objective, how do we get there, is the sort of thing. And again, keeping the ego out of it is critical to success in that regard. I mean, you might be successful, but at the end of the day, if you're the one causing the issue or someone else is or whatever, trying to control the situation, people aren't going to like you and they're not going to want to work with you again. So there's a downside, to that whole thing if you're not working in a collaborative and respectful way where everybody's voice can be heard and valued and all of that. And so let's take a look though at the Hierophant first. There's a lot of triple stuff here going on. You've got triplicity here and here, the same over there. You also have some balance here. It's card 5 from the Major Arcana. Now with the Hierophant, you're looking at mastery. You're looking at hidden knowledge. You're looking at divinity, divine presence, if you will. Benevolence, idealism, things like that. And so dropping resistance to that type of integrated experience, I think that's Yira. I really do. I think that when you're drawing in higher awareness and expressing it outward, you're having that flow. Same sort of flow here with the Hierophant being the teacher, or the Pope or the priest or whatever, however you want to see him. But if he is like your divine teacher, his awareness, his knowledge comes from higher awareness, comes from the Creator. You have the 2 monks or whatever down here below, and he is their teacher. And so even within that group, there may be those that look to someone, maybe has a little more experience, or maybe it's simply a spiritual issue for you, where you know that if you try to insert yourself in a way that other people aren't going to appreciate, that's going to prefer your view over theirs and not even give them a chance to speak or to feel valued in the group, so to speak, then the Hierophant could be suggesting that, the higher awareness that you bring in should alleviate you of that illusion, essentially. There may be someone along the way who wants to stand their ground and want to examine what are they facing, what are they up against, what they're trying to say, look, my idea is the best. This could be you, this could be someone else in the group if it's collaborative, like I say. And so you get above it all. You can see he's up on kind of a little hill there, a little precipice. And he's holding his staff in a defensive posture, because he's trying to protect what he's trying to say. So you have to make sure that this collaboration, if that's what's going to be happening for you this next week, if this applies to you, that you have to stand up for the group itself and the collaborative nature, the harmony within the group, the respect within the group for the ideas and the creativity that's going on. But again, he doesn't have a very good look on his face. He's not particularly happy to have to do that, but he's getting above it all so that he can observe the situation and understand what's coming in on him, and how he can best defend his position. Now, again, that if it's just simply trying to be heard within the group, then this group is not functioning in a collaborative way. It's not expressing, in bringing in higher awareness and expressing that out into the group. It's not a situation where you're willing to ask for advice or whatever. There's somebody is not. In other words, the group is not functioning the way that it needs to. So that would be the warning, I would think, with the 7, that there could be some issues next week that maybe somebody's just not feeling heard. And if that's the case, then everybody's got to stop and reevaluate the whole thing and say, you know what, we're not listening. And so what can we do to hear you better? And maybe it's that people are interrupting that person and they're not really listening. And so that it could be something like that. But I think that the 7 of Wands is the concerning part of the reading, in that maybe this collaborative thing is just not going to go very well because people have a hard time with that balanced energy exchange of Yira, where the give and take that should happen in a balanced way just isn't. The energetic alignment that needs to be there just isn't. And so maybe you stop and you talk about, okay, where is the dynamic here that's keeping us from collaborating in a truly effective way? Lastly, we have the Ace of Wands. The aces in the Rider-Waite are essentially, they contain in each of the 4 suits, in this case wands, they contain all the energy of the suit. And so here they all represent themselves with a hand reaching out from a dark cloud, so the unseen hand of spirit, bursting forth with creativity and new opportunities and the energy and the spark of life, if you will. And so once you get all this resolved, and if there is somebody that feels like, hey, you know what, no one's listening to me and I want to be heard, and I don't understand, we started out the right way, but whatever happens here, I don't feel heard. Maybe that's you, maybe that's somebody else in the group. Once you resolve that, the creativity can flow again, you see. So again, when you're looking at Fortuna Minor versus Fortuna Major, on that continuum, you've got progressive success, you've got being willing to hear other views, asking for assistance, things like that, versus Fortuna Major, where it's just like, well, no, I'm the boss, I'm the leader, it's all going to be me. It can be like that when it's ill-dignified. If it's just talking about finances, then again, minor is about progressive stuff, whereas major is about the payment at the end and the success at the end. But again, if you have to get there, which this is suggesting, through some kind of harmonious effort between you and others, some collaborative experience, every voice has got to be valued. And if it's not, then it could lead to this happening. And once you clear that up, again, the creativity will then flow. Make sense? Okay. That's it. I think I just heard my husband come in. He was mowing part of the pasture, so he has lights on the lawn tractor, but that at some point you just have to go in the house. So anyway, that's where I think we are right now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and again, enjoy your holiday. If you don't have to work tomorrow, cool. If you're doing your garden, we're starting to get more things moving out to the greenhouse and then to be planted, but maybe not right away, but sometime this week, some of it's going to get done. Maybe you're doing that, or maybe you're visiting with family or friends. Maybe you are on vacation. My youngest son and his family just got back from their vacation, and they had a wonderful time. It's just that time of year where lots of things are happening. And so have a wonderful weekend, what's left of it, and thanks for watching, and come back again on next Sunday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.